The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi guys, welcome to this week's webinar. Now, you're going to see two Chris Jenkins on this call, and neither one is actually Chris. For some reason, GoToWebinar has logged both myself and Paul and Keith, who's on the call with me, as Chris Jenkins. GoToWebinar's been having a lot of problems over the last couple of weeks, so I'm actually Richard Fairbairn, not Chris Jenkins, and the other Chris Jenkins is actually not Chris Jenkins, Paul or Keith. So if you want to say hi, Paul.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. If you could just drop a one in the box if you could hear Chris and Chris, but which is actually Richard and Paul, that'd be great. Just make sure that we can actually be heard. Yeah, we're getting some ones in there. That's great. Cool.
We've just been speaking, me and Paul. I mean, we've been saying for the last couple of months that we need to start using a different system. We actually bought one last week, and we haven't had a chance to actually run a test on it yet. But I'm away on. I'm getting remarried on Saturday. I've got like a 30-year kind of wedding renewal thing, and I'm going on a second honeymoon week after. So I'm kind of away next week. But when I get back, we are going to move to this new system, and hopefully you'll just see Richard and Paul rather than Chris and Chris.
Yeah. Yeah, so just to give everyone like a heads up there, just like a outline of what you've just said, Richard. So for next week, we won't actually be doing a webinar because Richard's away, and I'm actually be travelling down from Bangkok to the other side of Thailand on next Thursday as well. So next week we won't be doing a webinar, but from the following week we'll be back on at the normal times, and we should be using a new system. So you just maybe have to bear with us on the first one that we do in 2 weeks' time, because we will be using Webinar Jam instead of GoToWebinar, and so we will be kind of getting our heads around it a little bit. So if we are a little bit slow and if a few things go a little bit wrong, then I do apologise up front for that.
Yeah, we have heard lots and lots of good things about it. So thank you, Sal. I appreciate that. We have heard lots of good things about it, so hopefully it should be a lot better than GoToWebinar and get rid of all these problems we've been having.
Yep.
So this week, and that's no problem, David. It's saying this is clashing with another webinar, so that's good news. We've changed the time. So this week, before we start, let's see if there are any questions. Hi, Anthony. Nice to see you again. Did you want to do the graphics this week, Paul, or not? I mean, I can do what I'm going to do if you want. If you've got a chance to do it after, or
this week is probably not the best week for me to do it because I've just had internet problems all day, well, the last 2 days actually. Because I'm currently in Bangkok, and because of the time zone, I'm actually just in our house. I'm not actually in a sturdy office, so I just don't trust that if we share it to my screen, I think it'll probably freeze up.
Okay.
And we might lose the webinar. I don't want to do that this week. So next week, everything should be back to normal. So sorry, the week after, everything should be back to normal. So I can do anything you want. I wouldn't risk it this week. I wouldn't want to lose the webinar. So
Okay, that's fine. So just before we start, I'm gonna make sure you can see my screen. If you just give me a one that you can see my screen. Yep.
Yeah, that's some ones.
Okay, great. Now, if anybody can't find these, we had lots of emails this week about the replays of this webinar. They are all actually inside the Pixel members area under the resources section. Scroll down there, you'll see a big block from all the webinars. You've got some dates from last year for webinars, plus you'll see all the webinars starting to stack up as we're recording them from from this year. So just check the dates. You will find them there. Now this week, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be talking the difference in the 2D templates, the premium templates, and the difference between embeds and downloading. Now, a lot of people have been getting confused with the premium templates and the HTML5 templates. They're not quite sure of the difference and what you can actually do with them. Now, and this also applies to kind of using these templates on kind of ad networks like Google and the other big networks. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you where the premium templates are. I'm going to talk you through them. and I'm going to tell you exactly what you can do and can't do with them. And then we're going to look at the HTML5 ones. Just move that across there. Now, first and foremost, these are the ones that you need to be or should be using on the ad networks. These are made IAB compliant. So that means, they will be accepted by Google or the other networks to be able to be kind of added into their ad networks. Now, you've got a lot of templates already set here. But the one thing I was going to say, the difference between these templates and the ones that you're seeing in the 2D templates is the 2D templates are really customizable. And the reason they are really customizable, is because they use HTML5. And you see, with HTML5, because of some of the coding that we allow in these banners, they are actually allowable in the ad networks, for the simple reason being you can inject code and things like that into them, and obviously Google's sensible enough not to allow anybody to kind of add that banner on there. Where these kind of banners, these ones here, these are all IAB compatible, which means, oh sorry, I've just let me switch my Skype off. These are all IAB compatible, which means they're all built to the standards that Google and the other big ad networks want. Now, saying that, they are still quite customizable. So let's look at them first. We've got these three. We've got like 9 different templates at the moment. We've got about another 4 templates coming in. Now, we didn't want to overwhelm you with templates at first when you first started using this. So what we're going to be doing is we've got another 4 coming in. I think one's coming in each week. Now, the first one is the foldable banner. So, for example, this will fold up and down. When you click the buttons, you can put different things here. Now, to actually do that, what you need to do is you can add in to these panels anything you want, from an image to a movie. Now, if you wanted to add a movie in, all you do is need to click the little YouTube link. You add the YouTube video ID in and the target where it's going. Now, there's no other way to customize these. You can't add, people have been adding, wanting to add things like live Skype buttons. These are the banners that you need to be using for these. So you can add different images in here. You can add as many panels on as you want. You can add as many target links in as you wish. You can completely customize the colors, the button, what the button actually says. So all that can be done here. So for example, you can so you can see that they're all changeable. Now, the one thing about these templates is when you're doing it like that, if the button changes down, for example, as it's doing, you can see it's all been changed. That means for this template to be IAB compatible, the actual link has to change. So you can't put click to order, say 50% off, click it. You can't make each one different. So if something like that happens, so for example, as you're changing this button text and all the text changes, it's not like a bug or anything like that. It means to stay IAB compatible, that's what we need to do. So you can change the button colors, the hover color, the background color, all that kind of thing. Again, the size you can change for the borders. Sorry, I've got a bit of a tickly cough. So again, with the banners, you can change that. Button, sorry. So all that's changeable. You can add the movies in. You can get these to autoplay, and everything can be customized. So you can see how that looks. I'm sure you've actually seen one of these. So let's go back. Oops. So that's the foldable banner. We've got the film strip banner. I'm not going to go into every single one of these because they're all more or less very similar, but they act in different ways. This is a film strip banner.
Hey Rich, just want to quickly point out there, I've actually managed to plug a LAN connection in here, so I've actually got a decent connection now. I've just been checking it. If you want me to go through and show an example of each of these afterwards, I could do that, or I could drop you the URL and you could just walk through if you wanted.
Yeah, drop if you want to drop URL in, then I'll go through them. Say just in case it does cut out. You never know.
Yeah, okay, I'll get that to you. Okay, cool.
Well, I'll tell you what, while Paul's doing that, I'll show you those in a minute. But so these are all the different ones. So what we're going to do is going to show you the examples of them. You can see how they look, etc., rather than me walking through them. But each one of these have different sections. For example, the rollover banner. So you can actually roll over it. Again, you'll see a better description once Paul sends me those. For this one, you've got the front panel image, the back panel image, and the link. Now, again, with this one, you can't have two links. Some people have been asking, if they can link this front image and the back image. You can't do that. Again, it's not because we don't want to do that, because it is quite easy to do. If we did that, it wouldn't actually be IAB compatible, which means it wouldn't be able to add it to the networks. So what we've done with these is we've kept them all within the kind of Google IAB kind of guidelines, which means you can actually add them into the networks. If we started adding these little things that people are asking for, they become non-IAB compliant, which means you just get knockbacks when you try to add them into the network. What is the optional size of images to use now? Again, that's a good question, Anthony. Now, people have been asking me about, how big the images need to be. Now, Google likes your banners to load really quickly. So I would suggest, running them through a compression software. And there's lots and lots online. You can get them free if you just type in compression software. Now, you see, obviously, if with the network, if the display are on networks, obviously they're rotating through different places. So the quicker they load on the site, the more clicks you're going to get. And obviously they don't want huge banners filled with really big images. So anything, again, it depends on the size of your image as well. I mean, size of the banner for the actual size of your image. But for something like this default floating banner, 300 by 300, I'd never have your image sizes above 30 KB. They want to be below 30 KB. Otherwise, because, for example, with the floating banner, it's just one image or one video as in this one. Let's go back to an image one, it'll be easier. Banker banner, scratch banner, let's go with billboard banner. So with the billboard banner, now this can be multiple sizes, multiple images, but if, for example, if you added multiple images in and it was a bigger size and the images were quite large, it's going to slow up the time that it takes to load. Same with the carousel banner. Again, you can add like 3 slides in here. Now, if you made these quite large and the image is quite large, so if you added 600 by 600, still work perfectly, but I'm pretty sure if you added that banner to the networks, it wouldn't accept it, because each one of these would be quite large images, because obviously the size of the images are 600 by 600. So you're going to be at least 60 KB each one. So that's kind of almost makes it like a 300 KB ad. So, yeah, optimize your images as much as possible. So I'm just waiting for Paul to drop those over. What we'll do is, while Paul's just finding those to drop.
Hi, Rich. I've done that. What I've done, I've just pinged them to you in a direct message to you on GoToWebinars. If you jump in the chat, you should see them. And I've sent a message to everybody as well, because what we've done, we've got the membership site up and running and completed now. So there's a special link there to bypass the payment screens, and it's a special link I've given to everybody on the webinar that allows them to sign up for the membership weekly mastermind site. And what that will do, it will give you notifications. And also all of the webinar replays will be put into there.
Okay, I've got that.
The reviews that I've done. I mean, if you just walk through numbers 1 to 8, and then I'll kind of, whilst you're clicking on number 9, I'll sort of talk with you over that one, explain what I did on number 9. But 1 to 8 is pretty self-explanatory, but I'll sort of help you talk through these if you want.
Okay. So here you've got the foldable banner. Now the foldable banner, again, this is all IAB compatible, and you can see obviously what Paul's done is he's put one image, split it down into 4, and put it.
Yeah, I mean, if I could talk over these and explain what I did with each one, all this was I took one, I knew what size I wanted as the banner. So I think this was probably, I think it was a width of 880 and a depth of 150. So what I did, the main image I had was a width of 880, and it was 600 in total, the depth of it. So I just chopped it into 4 different slices, as you can see, and added each image into the 4 images that drop, which makes it look like it's just expanding itself across, which I think gives it quite a good effect.
Yeah, I mean, one great thing with this banner, for example, if you've got it on your site, now it's quite a big image. If you had that image just by itself on your site, it's going to take up a lot of real estate. Now, if you've just got this on, it's just showing this little top bit. Not only is it more engaging because people click, if there's anything like that, I always click. It also lets you showcase a bigger image, which obviously you can push more across, get more about your across to your customer and your message in a bigger image, and it doesn't then take up as much real estate.
So whilst we're on with this one, I'll just show you another example of what I did with that. If you just change the URL and remove the 1 to a 9 on that one, you'll see one that I did for it was a little test I was doing to see. It was for lead generation, basically. It was to see which people. I asked the question, what were you interested in online marketing? So was it any marketing? Was it SEO? Was it email marketing? And as you can see, if somebody clicked any of these, if you click at either of those, it should open up in a new screen related to what it was they clicked on. So if you clicked on the SEO and traffic bit, it would take you to the traffic products. If you clicked on the email bit, it would take you to an email opt-in. So it takes you to a video marketing, and there's a social media one at the bottom. So you can see the power of that as well. If you had, I mean, I just used block colors there to make it quite simple while I was doing it. I didn't want to spend too much time on this one, but there's another one underneath that actually, which is, if you keep going, there's a social media one. So each what I did, I put a different product relating to each of the different types of online marketing. So if someone was interested in that, I would take them into a list that would sort of nurture them in that, which again, it's quite a powerful way of segmenting off people when you're picking up leads.
Yeah, it's see, obviously, yeah, like you're going to segment off the leads, and also you're going to collect more leads as well via that, because somebody may not be interested in SEO or traffic, but they may be interested in email marketing. So if you were to showcase this banner on your site, again, it takes up a lot of real estate, and obviously, it's going to take up a lot. Is that now? If when you close it up, you can see it only takes up the normal size of a normal banner. But
and I think if people used a bit more creativity than what I did, this was done very quickly. I mean, if you were very creative with the one on the top, you could sort of make it so it was very intriguing to click to see what was below it, and you could do it again and again and again to keep dropping. You could drop 10 of these down, really. You would just keep pushing the rest of the website down. It would just take over the website, really.
Yeah, I mean, with that as well, you can this can be almost like a sales page.
Yeah, exactly. It could be.
Could be like, you could have a full sales page with your sales message all the way down, and you could have your call to action at the bottom. It's a perfect thing to use. Let's go number 2. Yeah, again, I mean, you can see like this, we've only got the one image. It's only showing the one image, but we've got like 3 images in there with 3 call to actions. Now, obviously, again, this is kind of a real estate saver. So what you're doing is you're only kind of got, this space that you're using, but you've got enough to get like a message across in 3 images with 3 call to actions in there. So again, fully IAB compatible and, you know, a real estate saver.
Yep, and again, I could have put videos into that one, but these were just done for examples when we were going to launch. That we're all going to go to our JV page actually, so that's where the links are based for these ones. But you can see the power you can create with the ads with what I did here.
Yeah, I really like these carousel banners. I think they're really good. I mean, with this you can kind of showcase your products. So, for example, if you had an e-com store, you can have multiple products here, all with different calls to actions, and it makes people engage with your banners. I mean, if you can think of an old kind of boring style banners, people have banner blindness; they just click over them. But here, you see something like that, you're immediately drawn to it, and you want to, you know, start clicking, moving around.
Yeah.
So you're engaging.
And what I like about this one as well, I love the way you said that it's engaging, but the fact that you can actually drop a video into one of the sides as well. So you could actually have like an explainer video popping through as well if you wanted to do something like that.
Yeah. Again, you can almost get your sales message across in a banner like this. So you could have a video, few call to actions, all leading to your sales page. So by the time they are actually clicking on your sales call to actions, getting to your sales page, they're already sold on it. Because you can do all your selling from this banner.
Yep.
All right, next one, number 4. So this is definitely built to save real estate. You'll see these on lots and lots of big sites. So this is all they'll see at the top is this show ad. So if you click on it, it drops down.
Yeah, and you could actually do this. I mean, I wouldn't recommend to do it at the size of the whole page. But I did it quite big here, and it does. All of a sudden, it takes over half of the page quite easily.
Yeah. So there's again, these banners are meant to save real estate, and that's what Google's looking for. It's number 5. What's this one? So you get your floating banner. So this is a video one.
Yeah, and after a certain amount of time, that'll disappear. I think I set it to about 10 or 15 seconds, this one. I think it was that.
So how do you get that one back? I forgot to get back.
You just need to refresh it because it disappears. There's different ways of settings on that one. What I did, I set that one to appear for the length of the actual video and then to just disappear so it wouldn't annoy people anymore after that. So you can have different settings on this one, and that's just how I set that exact banner to do it. I just didn't want it to appear for any longer than the length.
Yeah, you can't bring it back, can you? Yeah. This is close button on it, so if you want to if they want to just close it off, you can do.
Yeah.
6. Expandable banner. This is really good. Again, it's a real estate saver. So as you roll across it, you can click on it. Oops. Sorry if I load that. So you can play the video. Again, it's meant to save space on your site. So if you think about back to kind of like 10 years ago, you didn't have a lot of calls to actions on one page. But if you go to many sites now, you'll see lots and lots of different places for people to click, lots of places that they're showing ads. So, you know, these banners, are the way they're built, are as I said, time savers, space savers. So the more of your real estate you can fill with ads without making it look, you know, stuffed with ads is much better. So you get the rollover banner. Again, this is a great banner for engagement because people just play with it.
Yeah, and the images can be anything now. You could have them totally different. I mean, I just had 2 inverted images the same as it happened, and it ended up it looked quite good when I did it like that. So
Does
I
it?
left it.
Looks almost, yeah, because you can see time 12:40.
yeah, it was just a night and day image that I had, and I just thought, oh, it might look quite good if I overlay one with the other. And it turned out quite well, did that?
Very good. You can roll up, you can roll down, you can roll down. Now, a lot of people, when they see that, again, it's showcasing two images, so you could showcase a certain your product on the top. You could showcase the price underneath.
Okay, I found something.
Just where Siri keeps
That's the first time I've had Siri on a webinar, I think.
So it is really engaging this. Now we are editing this as well, because a couple of people have asked for it to be able to be rolled completely back. So, you know, as I roll it back, it peels the whole way off, which is within IAB compatible. So I'm going to do that. I don't remember. Erase M8. So scratch card. This is one that, you know, I've seen people using this a lot. They're kind of loving this one. And this
I think a lot of people I spoke to, this was the one they loved. So
yeah,
it works.
Yeah, it works because you can add. It's a great place to put kind of, you know, bonus offers underneath. You know, coupon offers, things like that. Because people will scratch it just to see if they. And once they've took that kind of action to scratch it off, and if you say there you get 50% off.
Mm-hmm.
People take an action then, don't they? But yeah,
just a tip for people here. I mean, this to make this really engaging. If you wanted to use this kind of banner on your site, what I would do is I'd set up one that said, "Please try again." That was maybe the first scratched off bottom of it, and then another one, "You're a winner." But then set up a campaign within Pixel and have it to show so that maybe 50% of the time it said you're a winner, 50% of the time it said you're not a winner, just so people realise that it wasn't always a winner, and it gets more engagement with the people, and it keeps them on your site longer because they're trying again. It says, oh, maybe come back and try again in 10 minutes or something like that. But as long as you set up the campaign, you can do that within Pixel.
Yep, it's a good idea. Yeah, like I say, then it gives the impression of it being kind of a real scratch card then. Okay, so that's the.
Yeah, those are the examples that we use when we were launching Pixel, plus the one I use for the lead generation. But as we build more banners and we use them for different things, every now and again we can just keep showcasing what we've done on here, because I think people are going to be quite interested in seeing how we're using it. So I know that I'm getting one built again this week, so maybe in 2 weeks when we come back on, I can show you what we've used over the next week.
The one that I'm excited about coming is we've got one called the Venetian Blinds banner. So that's a banner that almost looks like a Venetian blind. So you have two images that kind of twirl around on a Venetian blind. It's really engaging. I'm hoping that by the time I get back to back from my honeymoon, that it'll be ready, so I'll be able to show you that.
Okay. Chuck's asking a question. He says, is there instructions on how to change the results on the scratch card? I don't know if you've got time to actually just quickly go and build two scratch banners and do a campaign on it now, Rich, or not? Possible to do that?
Oh, you mean to kind of like do two different?
Yeah, just to, because I think what Chuck's saying is how do we set it? I'm assuming he's saying how do we set it so that you've got two different results? That's what I'm assuming. Is the instructions on how to change the results on the scratch card? Yeah, because it's not actually. There is actually only one result. What I was saying is you have to be quite clever and a bit creative with it. So what I did is I created two separate banners, if you like, but I added them into one campaign. And then you set the campaign to display one more than the other, or what you could display it 50-50 if you wanted. But I think Rich might have a chance to show you now what I mean.
Yeah, 2 seconds, I'll show you now. So, all right. So what we need to do, all we need to do is just save this one. We'll give it as test. Just use a scratch. Set the template. Like to save. So go back to all graphics. So you can see I've saved it here. So what Paul's talking about is, so we need to create a campaign. So let's call it this winner. So create campaign. So you can see I've got the campaign set here. Oops, this down.
And then what was behind that would be congratulations, you've won.
Yeah.
And then you just create another banner that's the same, add it to the same campaign, but with a background that says, sorry, try again.
Yeah, so for example, that's set there. So this one would be, so that's one's, for example, the winner. So we go back to premium. Let's do this one. So let's go strip 2. Save this.
Wow.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to add it to the winner campaign. So that's just that little thumb going up. So associate banner. So if we go to, where have we gone? Oh, winner, sorry. So we need to switch that one as well. So that's going to more or less show as a 50-50 kind of split. So, for example, this one would be, I know they look exactly the same, they look different at the moment, but you'd create them so they're exactly the same.
Yeah. The front image would be the same, but the back image would be different. That's the only difference you would have.
Yeah. So on the back end of this one, it'd say, you've lost. This one would say you've won. So what Paul meant is when you embed this code, it'll split these two banners 50-50, so it'll show this 50% of the time, this 50% of the time. So it gives the impression that, if somebody's scratching this one that's a losing one, they'll stay on your site, refresh your page to try and scratch this one that's kind of a winner one. So
yeah, or if you wanted to change the odds up a lot more, what you would do is you maybe add in, I don't know, 9 that were losers and just 1 winner, and then it would automatically allocate the percentages so that one would show 10%, the other 9%, just depending on what you wanted to show.
Yeah,
you just need to duplicate it and drop it into the campaign, because the campaign will rotate through it. You see.
Yeah. So if you're doing something that you don't want people to win all the time, so saying, I don't know, it was something that you didn't want to give away as much, then obviously you'd have more. But if you want engagement, you just do it on a 50-50 split. So yeah, Chuck, it'd be like a split campaign. It'd be like a split campaign between the two.
Yeah, and I mean, this could work really well for products. If you're doing, say you had an e-com store and you wanted to do a special offer, 10% off maybe 5-6 different products, or maybe 20% off one, 50% off another. You just make sure you create the top image, the scratchable image, the same, and then the background. You could have an offer for 10% off one product, an offer that said sorry, try again, and then another for 25%. So if you created maybe 10, 15, 20 different backgrounds within the campaign, it would constantly obviously move through them, so people would be trying and they'd see that different things were happening when they were going to this banner, and it would make them keep coming back and trying again, because they keep seeing different offers. It's a good way of keeping engagement on your site.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to give something free, if you have something free as well, you could create 100 banners and just make one of those the free one and tell people about it. A lot of people there coming and scratching just to see if they're going to get something free. So we'll spend a little bit longer on the premium templates than I want to do, but the difference between these and the HTML5 ones and the 3D ones, these are not IAB compatible. You can make IAB compatible ones in these creators, but you've got to kind of know what dimensions, what settings you want to use. And if you come here to the editor, for kind of things like transitions, for animation, all that kind of things can't go in IAB compatible banners. You can't insert embeds or location things and things like that, for the simple reason Google just won't let you into the network, for the simple reason being you can manipulate the code, etc. So if you're using IAB compatible and you want to get on the networks, then you need to use the premium templates. That's what kind of we've built them for. if you're wanting to, build something that's really kind of amazing, creative, and you want something like Skype buttons embedded in or Shopify buttons embedded in, then this is the section that you need to use. Again, also, we have the dimensional graphics. Now, we haven't covered these a right lot, but we're going to, when we've got this next few premium templates in, we are going to be upgrading this dimensional section to have some, we're going to have some really cool features in here. But again, these are IAB compatible. There's no way you can use them on Google Networks, etc. So, have we got any questions before we carry on?
I've been pretty much answering people's questions as I've gone along, to tell you the truth. A lot of people enjoying a couple of the ideas and liking what they're seeing, so that's all good. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, cool. Right, is there anything else anybody wants to see before we move on? Anything you'd like to go through?
Silence. I think there is actually quite a few less people on this week. It's probably because we're doing it so much earlier in the US. So I just have to apologise for that. It's just due to circumstances. But like I said, in 2 weeks we should be back to normal.
Yeah. Now, one thing we are doing to the templates, we are adding a search facility in there. We're just at the moment kind of working out how to kind of make it work, because we've got so many templates in here, but my graphics guys are tagging them all with all different kind of tags. So we're going to have a search tag in here. But I know people have been asking about these banners. Can they use them as they are? The image and everything. Everything you see in these templates are fully usable by yourself. So you can, obviously you need to change them, because obviously they've got default kind of like enter call to action here. All those needs editing, but the images and everything else you can use without fear of like copyright or anything like that, because all these are, we've bought these for use in you, and you can use them in your client site if you're going to be selling these, kind of wherever you want to use them. It's possible. Now with these templates, what we're looking for suggestions on what you want to see in here, because obviously people kind of blow me away with what niches that they are into. I mean, I've seen some really weird ones, but really ones. But what we want is we want some kind of feedback. We want to know what niches that you want to see in here, because we can also always keep covering the normal ones like weight loss, beauty, IM, all that kind of stuff. But we need to know what you want in here, and if you let us know, we will make it. I mean, I didn't make it personally, but my graphics guy did. We had a request for witchcraft banners, which will be going in this week. So, as long as it's legal, we will make the banners for you, and they will be dropped in here.
Yeah, we can't stress enough that at the end of the day, we'll put in anything that's within reason. We just need feedback from our users, and the more feedback you give us, the more you want, the more you tell us you'd like to see it. As long as it's doable and it's not too going to be crazy expensive and too difficult to do, we will try and implement everything that everybody needs. So we do want to hear what niches you want, what banners you want putting in there. If anything you come up with, just let us know. Just go to the support desk, and we will do our best. We've just got a couple of things I want to go through, Rich, as well. ABD Shuck is asking, can we track where do they click on the banners, for example? So I think you're talking more of a heat map per banner there.
Yeah, that's I'll show you where that is. Right, so let's find one. So let's come to Ted's banner. This is just one that I've dropped in here. If you come to your banner, it must be active. You've got to have it on an active campaign. If you see the analytics section here, you can see this has had no views or clicks or anything, because it's just this is just a test account. So when you click on analytics, you'll see exactly, everything that you need to know about that banner. You've got impressions, clicks, call to actions, You've got slides sorted by click, so you can see which slide's getting the most click. You see where they're clicking from what device. So, for example, if more people are clicking on mobiles, it'll show you, impressions and clicks. Everything's covered here. Even your countries, what countries are is clicking most on your banners. So that's just here in this section called analytics. We are adding a bit more to that as well.
Okay, cool. Lee says, do you have a training on selling and contacting businesses who are most likely to have a need for buying these services?
Last week we did cover a lot about offline, selling these to offline businesses. Both myself and Paul, we are offline marketers. So last week I contacted a few people who were, got some tips how to get in touch with businesses and what you need to do. So if you have a look at last week's webinar, that'll give you a little bit of info. Again,
yeah, and
sorry.
I think going forward, I mean, it's not something that's going to happen in the very, very near future, but going forward, I think it's something that we will build into this. It's something that obviously a lot of people using Pixel, they're going to be using it for that reason. So it's something that we are going to sort of incorporate in the future.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of everything's built there, ready to go. You've got the full client section. Everything's there that you need to actually start selling, delivering, tracking. Everything's done, ready for your client. But obviously, like I just said, we're not really offline marketers. We're more online marketers. So but people, any business will want a banner, that you can make here. And there's so many templates already there. So, for example, restaurant templates, solicitors, lawyers template, everything's there that you can use. So you can customize them and make them really good for your client. And obviously you can deliver them through the client portal, track them through the client portal. So everything's done now. And like Paul said, we will, look at doing some more for that. I'm just reading a question from Gala. It says, do we get a login for Pixel? I recall this from a month or so ago. I
responded to her there, just said to drop a message to support.
All right, okay. So, is anybody any more questions?
Nope.
No. Okay. Not sure much else to cover really.
Any upcoming new software where I can be a beta tester? Actually, there may be possible. There is a possibility there, WD. Let me and Richard speak about that. We have got a couple of things in a pipeline. So if you I can grab your email out of this webinar actually. But yeah, if there's any other guys in here who do want to do any beta testing as well for other software, if you just want to make yourselves known on one of the webinars and when something's coming up, we can always use a couple of beta testers a couple of weeks before.
Yeah.
It's always a possible.
Yeah, it also means you get a free copy of the software, so it's all good.
Yeah. We've got a couple of guys who'd like to be. Yeah, we've got a couple of things in a pipeline that we hadn't actually planned for a beta test on one of them, but we never know. When we're discussing things every day, so things tend to change quite rapidly with me and Richard. So if we do need some, at least we know we've got some of you guys on the webinar who'd be willing to do it, which is great news.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
Okay, so got any more questions? So I know it's late over there for you, like.
It's not too bad, but yeah, I am pretty shattered to be true.
Okay, yeah, a lot more beta testers coming in. That's great. Yeah, I mean, we definitely will have beta testers on his next product.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay then, guys. If there's no more, I'll just give it another couple of minutes. If there's no more questions coming, then we'll just close it off this week. Like I said, unfortunately, there won't be a webinar next week. If you do get a message, but in fact, I'll have to sort out the GoToWebinar if it doesn't do it. And hopefully, we'll be coming back 2 weeks from today, back to the normal time at 2 p.m. EST. And hopefully, we'll be doing the next one through Webinar Jam.
Yeah, but you'll have to bear with us. It might be a bit
Yeah, so you might have to bear with us on that. Lee Williams is saying, do you cover the resellers box on these webinars? We can do, I would have thought, going forward.
Yeah.
Anything that helps you guys that you bought into from us, or anything that you need help with, we're always open to. We can schedule 1 hour 1 week to help anybody within any of these things. So, yeah, we'll have a look at that, Lee. I'm sure we can pull something together for that.
Have you got any specific questions that you'd like to ask first before Lee? No, sorry.
Yeah, Lee, if you've got anything you want answering now, fire away.
Can't cover the full system now, but we can maybe able to answer your question.
Yeah, if you've got any specific questions, if it's just a generic overview you want of resellers box, that'll be easy enough just to put that together for 1 week, wouldn't it, Rich?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Thanks, Chuck. Yeah, I'm hanging in there. I think I've had about 12 hours sleep in 4 nights, to tell you the truth. But yeah, the weekend's coming soon. I'm going to get some time with my daughter this weekend. Have a few hours off from working.
Just an overview and then question will follow. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think that's doable. We could do that in 2 or 3 weeks' time, couldn't we, Richard? Put something together for the resellers box.
Yeah. What we'll do is, do you want to do that? Not next week. Week after, we'll do a full overview of the resellers box. Go through every one of the systems. What you can do.
Yeah, let's do it. That'll fit in quite well with what I'm doing this next 2 weeks with Alex anyway. So the stuff I'm putting together with Alex will probably help.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll next webinar we'll do a full overview of the reseller box system, all the different products, what you can do, what you can't do, and how to use it.
Yeah, but obviously, guys, if people on here that just want to know stuff about Pixel, feel free. You can always come on any of these VIP webinars that we do every week. You can come on and ask anything about whether it's one of our products or whether it's something else to do with marketing. Feel free, and if we can't answer it on the live call, we'll go away and look at it and hopefully come back the following week and help with it.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I think we're going to shut this one off then today. Thanks, everyone. Cheers for turning up again.
All right, thank you.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
We'll see you in 2 weeks. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.